Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ambii.AlertPodcast, a podcast where I break down everything about sports from the latest highlights, the events, the stats, stories, and moments that make the sport that we all love very interesting. So, with me today, I have Tim Rhodes, the director for the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon race. How are you doing today, Tim?
Hey Amber, I'm great. How are you?
I am great. I first want to thank you for joining me today. So, for a quick introduction, could you give the viewers a bit about yourself?
Yeah, wow. I don't know where to start. I've been around a while. My day job is the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon and a few other events that we have in our portfolio. Personally, I've been married 36 years to my beautiful wife, and we've got 5 kids, two of which are married, and one of which has our granddaughter, and
Um,
another one on the way. So I've got a very rich and full life, and I'm very blessed. And I actually love what I do. I called it a job. It's not really a job. I really love doing the event business. I've been doing it since the mid '90s.
mhm.
I kind of got my start in running back in high school, and I didn't run collegiately. I wasn't that good, but maybe I could have run Division 3. Who knows? But that's behind us, and started running after college to as a way of trying to lose some of the weight I gained in college, and fell in love with running events, and so. I kind of converted my or utilized my banking experience and
Mhm.
made an avocation out of it.
That's great. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing. Viewers, if you haven't heard already, this Saturday, November 16th, starting at 7:20 a.m. here in Charlotte, North Carolina, is the 20th anniversary for the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon race, where thousands of participants from all 50 states, as well as some other countries, come out and support. There are also other race events the same day hosted by Novant Health, like the half marathon, the relays, and the Chick-fil-A 5K. So, Tim, could you go into deeper detail about what each race focuses on for our viewers?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So the marathon's kind of the ultimate thing, right? It's a bucket list thing for a lot of people. We have people from 50 states, Washington D.C., and 19 countries this year, and many that are running from some of the outlying states. Like it's pretty heavy southeast Atlantic seaboard, right? But a lot of the West Coast states, maybe some of the plains, the South, people come in to run it and check it off their 50 state bucket list. They want to run
Wow.
one in North Carolina. So this is it. Some of them are Boston qualifiers. This is a Boston qualifying race for not 25, that's closed, but 2026. For the half marathon, maybe that's a little bit of a bucket list thing too for people that have done 5Ks and 10Ks and maybe a little, some 15K or something like that. And they want to stretch themselves and maybe the half marathons for that. The relays are fun team events. They run part of the course, whether it's half marathon or marathon, and hand off their timing tag. Um, and the 5K is just that. People love coming out to a 5K, and there's lots of goodies and fun with a 5K. They get the same entertainment, the same finish line prize. That's a little secret. I'm tipping you off. There's a little finish line prize for all the runners. And I think this year they get a Chick-fil-A sandwich or something like that, coupon for one. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, 95, 9,600 of your best friends on a Saturday morning, plus friends, fans, and family. And the weather's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I looked at the weather today. I'm like, wow, Friday and Saturday is going to be really nice. It's going to be a lot going on here in Charlotte. I live right here in Uptown, Midtown area, so I'll have class, but I'll see a little bit of it when I'm going to class. I was telling my
Yeah.
dad like I should have did it. Like I told you before, I ran track in college and I did the shorter events, but the longer event I've done before is 800. So the half marathon, maybe the relays would have been something for me to challenge myself with. Maybe
Yep.
next time. But I can't wait to see all the traffic and activity going on Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
excited.
know if we can wait to see the traffic, but the runner traffic, great. But the
Yeah.
cars, just kind of a warning, go to thecharlottemarathon.com and look for our maps and our event turn by turn and timelines and where we're going to be in Charlotte and when, and avoid those spots because it's going to get backed up a little bit. So we
Yeah.
apologize in advance, but appreciate people's patience. And it won't last forever. It's a rolling closure. And as soon as runners pass and there's a gap, they'll try to work cars through. But yeah, that's one of the unfortunate circumstances with
Yeah.
some of these events is you get a little traffic tie up.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about the history of the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. How
Sure.
did it get started?
Yeah, 20 years this year. The marathon, we started this event in 2005 as the Thunder Road Marathon, kind of playing on the thematics of the stock car industry here in Charlotte. We thought, Cooper River Bridge Run, Flying Pig Marathon, uh, a lot of themed events seem to be popular. It never really took. So I think in 2017 or 18, we rebranded to the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. Novant had been our title sponsor with uh, Thunder Road as well, and so we replaced the previous event, which was the Marathon Run for Peace, which had gone out of business due to some unfortunate circumstances that I don't want to get into, but it was kind of unfortunate. But I'd been doing events, and I just thought, well, if someone's going to do a marathon, you ought to do it. You're only going to get one crack because they're not going to have more than one marathon in Charlotte, and so
Right.
gave it a shot. And I've learned a lot along the way. Not everything has gone perfect, but that's how you learn, right? Don't make the
Yeah.
same mistakes twice, though.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I know you said earlier this is people run this marathon for the Boston Marathon in 2026. So, what sets this marathon aside, like away from other marathons across the country? What do you think
Yeah,
is
that's
unique?
a really good question. I think it starts with um, Charlotte itself being such a vibrant and beautiful city with gorgeous
Period.
neighborhoods. I mean, look, we've got hills, and people that come from less hillier places think that it's a hillier course, but I tell people we've got fast hills, so
Yeah.
I don't know, if we do or not, but look, there are some hills out there, and that is what it is. But it's you end up where you finish, is where you start, right, elevation
Right.
wise. So when you go up a hill, you're going to get it back going down the hill. So I just think it's the reputation has improved from not a lot of course support to fantastic course support. I mean, there's so many neighborhood parties that I've heard of. The Dilworth and Myers Park coming out, and Noda and Plaza Midwood, and people out on South End. And I think that's what sets us apart. It's become kind of a thing to do in Charlotte, and people don't want to miss out on it. And hence, we sell out this year, and hate turning people away. I want
Wow.
everybody to be able to participate, but you plan accordingly, and you make projections, and you order a certain amount of water and a certain amount of food and a certain amount of medals and t-shirts. And then when you have a rush of registration in the last month that takes you a little bit by surprise, that we'll have to adjust for that next year, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like you said, never make the same mistake twice. So you learn now. So
That's
you
right. That's right.
but I definitely agree with the hills here. I really just started running a little longer, like in the city part. And when I'm going up a hill, going down a hill, it's perfect. It's not too long, not too short. But up there in the mountains at my old school, them hills are miles and miles long. I'm like,
Oh,
this
I
is not
know.
it. Those hills are nothing to be played with. I'm like, ooh, I love it here. I love it. I love it.
And they're
But
steep too.
Yeah, very steep, very steep. Whenever our coach would say, "Yeah, we have hills today," I used to just want to go home.
What did I do wrong?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you're the director over the marathon. So, what does it take, like with the planning and the coordination of the marathon, like of this scale, since it's a lot of people with the
Yeah.
with the medals and the t-shirts, um, and everything above.
Yeah, it's the best I can answer that is it takes a great team, and then it takes me getting out of their way, and um the people on our team are so talented, from our executive director. Her name's Elena Williams, and her passion for what she does. I just kind of let her do her thing because she knows
Mm,
what she's doing, and
yeah.
I, you know, sh I appreciate everything she does. And DC Lucchese, who does our social media marketing and stuff like that, that's his wheelhouse, not mine. So I try to cast a vision and set some strategic goals, and
Mhm.
um, but I hope that I do a good job of throwing ideas out, getting some consensus and some feedback, and then making a decision. Not just this is what we're going to do because I said so. It's, hey,
Right.
everybody thinks this is the right thing to do. But our team has grown too, and strategically adding people who are passionate about this event. We have one gal call us about 3 years ago and said, there's not really as much fan support as I think there should be. Can I help you
Mm.
with that? And she's part of our team now. Her name's Sydney, and she's coordinating all these neighborhood parties and making sure that, everybody's got kazoos and
Yeah.
slapsticks and whatever else, and just making sure that they know timelines and whatnot. And it's people like that who step in and say, hey, I think I can help. I have a passion for this. That's what it takes. And it's we're kind of in that at that tipping point. We're not big enough yet to have this big full-time staff of 10. um, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And so kind of adding these people, we probably have 15 people paid. Not many of them are full time, but they do help out. So it's just growing those positions and kind of knowing when and where to grow them.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask after the other question, with working together and combining ideas. Like that's the way to get things on the road. I'm thinking that this was a big group, but y'all been doing pretty good so far. Like I see it on social media. I see it online. So I mean, honestly, the small group is getting it where it needs to be. So are there any other like market techniques that you know of? I know DC is like the main like market person, like the content person. So do you know of any like future ideas you want to bring for the marathon for participants to be excited about for the marathon?
Um, so here's where I think that there's opportunity. Um, it's to grow the corporate team part of it. I get emails, and I'm surprised in a good way. Companies are like, hey, our company wants to get involved. We've got a group of 10 or 15 or 6, and we want to run and we want to be a part of this. And I think it's growing that, but I also think it's growing, getting people maybe like you. Hey, I can run a 5K if I train for it, but what if you trained for a half marathon? Could you do it? And convincing you that you could,
Hmm.
because you can, and then putting the right tools in place for you to be successful, right? Get you a
Right.
good training plan, a good supporting cast, a good coach who can make sure that you can accomplish that. So it's getting people to think kind of outside of their limitations and what they've done, and to try to get more people to do a half marathon, and those that have done a half to do a full, and so forth. So I think those are the places that we can try to grow this thing.
Right. So with I know the marathon benefits the Novant Health Hemby Children's Hospital. Am I
Yes.
correct? So how else do you think the marathon impacts the local community here in Charlotte in terms of economic benefits and community involvement?
Yeah. Um, Yeah, so easy answer, I guess, is last year it was $2 million economic impact, and I would be surprised if we weren't closer to 3 million this year with the growth that we've had.
Wow.
Um, and so people come to Charlotte and spend money, and that's what we want. It helps create jobs, not just the being on the team and getting paid, but uh, people, the kind of that secondary indirect. We need more people in the service industry who are in hotels and restaurants and work there, people who are DJs that we hire to entertain people, to prepare food and things like that. So it does create a positive impact for the weekend. um, and I think that's good, and we want to continue to grow that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be in Charlotte for a while, so I'm going to do a marathon with you guys one year.
Okay,
I'm going to
we're,
do it
we're
one
gonna
year.
hold you to it.
So has there any been any challenges, like big challenges this year with the marathon, do you think that's kind of
um,
impacted?
I think the biggest one is just kind of the late registrations, but we've made some changes. We moved the start line from Graham Street to Tryon Street, making sure people know that. Don't show up to Graham Street this year. You better show up to Tryon Street. And if you're down at Graham Street when the race starts, you're going to miss the start. So um, just managing changes like that and making sure that we have enough. You never want to run out of water on the course, because that becomes a health and safety issue. You don't want to run out of medals at a finish line, because the people that are out there 6 hours are the ones that don't get the medal, and they're the ones that probably deserve it the most because they've been working longer than everybody else. So just managing the growth has been a big challenge. But yeah, and it's trying to figure out that growth. How big a space do we need for an expo? How wide do we need on a certain street? Do we need one lane or two lanes?
Right.
Because the more lanes of traffic we take up, the harder it is on motorists, because we're taking away travel lanes. So we want to be friendly to traffic. We know it's not entirely so, but we think about those types of things, making sure that we're not unnecessarily going through intersections when we can make a turn or something like that.
So even with supporters that aren't running, they can come to Tryon Street and just stay there and support, like from behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
there's on our website, there's a map that lists all the different cheer stations, cheer zones along the course. So you can go to any one of those. I mean, we have uh, I think over 20 DJs out on the course that are
Oh,
playing
wow.
music for the runners, just to kind of keep
Okay.
them energized and excited. Maybe a little diversion, from getting a cramp or a blister. But those are nice gathering places. Most neighborhoods are having a neighborhood party, block party, street party. Um, so you don't necessarily have to be uptown. It's a great place. The course is laid out so that you can probably hit a couple different spots along the way if you're looking to watch a certain group, or you have a friend or a relative out there running. You can probably hit them in a couple different places without too much trouble.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Viewers, if you go to Novant Health Charlotte Marathon, type it in on Google, the website will pop up to give you all the
Yeah,
information.
it's thecharlottemarathon.com.
Okay. Thank you, Tim.
Right. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want our viewers to know about the marathon when it comes to Saturday in particular?
Um, yeah, it's just, first thing I'd say is thank you. Thank you to the runners who support us, and look, I get it. It's not the cheapest thing in the world to do. you're laying down some money, and so guess what? We owe you a good experience, because you've put your trust in us. So we hope you have a good experience. But thank you for trusting us. Um, to the city of Charlotte, thank you for the hospitality, for the support. Department of Transportation, Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, um, are just huge assets to us. And thank you to the neighbors and the motorists who, you know, have to have patience, and uh, if they're in their car or their truck. And thank you to the neighborhoods who help us celebrate and make these runners feel welcome. So I think it's a great opportunity for the Queen City, for Charlotte, to be showcased.
Thank you, Tim. Well, that's all I have for you today, and
All right.
thank you for sharing and taking the time out of your day to come on my podcast. I hope you enjoyed. I did, because I learned a lot. Being new
Yeah.
to Charlotte, and best of luck to you, and best of luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you so much, Amber. I wish you the best.
Thank you. Have a great one. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.